I don't think I have had a story as in demand as this one, as I think is noteworthy to discuss, as it looks like one of our fellow service members has lost his life and another is in what seems to be stable condition now, as reports are coming out about two members of the basic underwater demolition school that had just completed Hell Week. Now, a lot of people know Navy SEAL training is one of the toughest, if not the toughest out there, and I know people are going to go into comments and just go crazy. Not a time for that to compare to all these others, but what I want to get to is the fact that it is difficult. It is one of the hardest trainings that are out there, and that comes with high risk. Now, this report came out only a few days ago, not giving any names, but that has now been officially released. Navy Times says that one SEAL candidate died and the second was in a hospital after falling ill just hours after they successfully completed the grueling Hell Week test that ends the first phase of assessment and selection for the Navy commandos, the Navy said Saturday. Both were rushed to the hospital in California. The Navy said neither one had experienced an accident or unusual incident during the 5.5-day Hell Week. To contextualize this for you guys, Hell Week is like a week of zero sleep, zero rest, constant going, just being in and out of the water, doing all these different evolutions, which pretty much would put anyone to their breaking point. And this is to try and get people to fail, as there's already high attrition already, but this week is truly to filter out probably the last 50% of the class that is needed to be filtered out. They say the test is part of the SEALs Buds class, which involves basic underwater demolition, survival, and other combat tactics. It comes in the 4th week of the SEAL candidates are being assessed and hoping to be selected for training within the Naval Special Warfare Basic Training Command. Now, as far as the disposition where those service members went, it looks like one of them that did pass away went to Sharp over in San Diego, because it does take place in Coronado, California. And then you also had the other one, which went to Naval Medical Center San Diego. I used to work there, so pretty routine stuff as far as that goes, because Sharp has more care that they can offer versus a military hospital. Navy Times then goes on to say the Navy said the cause of death was not immediately known, as was under investigation. The sailor's name was being withheld until 24 hours after his family was notified in accordance with Navy policy. So that's just based off the casualty assistance call officer that is responsible to notify the next of kin in these situations, and obviously respect. You would never want to know that your family member did pass away through the media or Facebook or whatever else, right? So the person that they've identified is Seaman Kyle Mullen, a Navy SEAL candidate for Buds. Now, with this official announcement, it does look like the top brass military officer of special operations of the SEAL community here has responded. Admiral H.W. Howard III, Commander of Naval Special Warfare Command, said, "We extend our deepest sympathies to Seaman Mullen's family for their loss." And he says, "We are extending every form of support we can to the Mullen family and Kyle's Buds classmates." So if we break this down a little bit, they did not suffer any kind of injury that was in the actual evolution, right? But there's a lot of things that people don't consider about this. I've personally done a small rotation over at Buds before to kind of understand what they go through, understanding some of the injuries that can be there. Navy SEALs are going to be in Coronado North Island area, where that's in San Diego. If you've never been to San Diego, yes, it is sunny. Yes, it's great weather, but that water has a cold current that rips through it, which actually makes it quite cold, meaning hypothermia is a factor here, because when you have hypothermia, that can affect your heart and cause arrhythmias and other things like that. On top of that, the amount of exertion a SEAL candidate is going to have to go through over those 5 days is going to be so intense that could cause so many heat injuries. You're looking at heat stroke, heat exhaustion, all these other things that can happen from your body overheating, working too hard. And if you don't have proper nutrition and things like that, you possibly could run into those issues. And with how much they are putting their body under pressure, you have to worry about what we call rhabdomyolysis, which is a condition that is pretty much where your kidneys are being overloaded because the muscle breakdown is too intense and it can't appropriately filter that stuff out. I tell people that essentially the kidneys are like cleaning your fridge. Take the stuff out that you want to keep and all the junk, throw it away, and then put the stuff that you want to keep back in. Now, if you're on a time crunch and you can only do so much at once, that stuff that's good or bad is going to start getting mixed up. You get things like decompression issues as far as, being in the pool or in the water or whatever else. That could be another factor here, as well as bubbles in your body can float to places like your brain, your joints, all these other places or wherever else that can cause somebody to have some neurological issues. So looking at this, it makes me question, is being a Navy SEAL or attempting to be a Navy SEAL, is it going to be too tough? Is the training too intense? And I would say, if you told your doctor, took away Navy SEAL, took away all this, I'm about to do 5 days of no sleep, barely getting any rest, just pure exhaustion, swimming, running, doing everything that I can that is intense, is this a good idea? He'd probably say no, like, you're going to need to really train to that. And you're talking about, this is only 4 weeks after training. This is also why Navy SEALs have to go through the PST, which is the physical screening test, which includes push-ups, pull-ups, crunches, or sit-ups, if you want to call them that, and also a swim as well. And I look at this and I'm like, there's a reason why they have this stuff here to hopefully mitigate this, right? And I will tell you as well, at BUD/S, there are, just like at boot camps and everything else, there's left and right lateral limits of what is acceptable. Obviously, gray area as well. For how intense BUD/S training is, it doesn't look like deaths happen as common as someone may think with how intense this is. Navy Times says the last SEAL candidate to die during the assessment phase was a 21-year-old Seaman James Derek Lovelace. In 2016, he was struggling to tread water in full gear in a giant pool when his instructor pushed him underwater at least twice. He lost consciousness and died. Been able to say they were not sure if that death was due to the fact that he was a super fit guy that had a cardiac issue. They said that the autopsy revealed he had an enlarged heart that contributed to his death and that he had an abnormal coronary artery which had been associated with sudden cardiac death. And again, the person that did push him under the water, we're known that instructors will obviously push these candidates to their level. It's known that a lot of these guys will end up blacking out underwater just out of the pure desire to become a Navy SEAL. I'm going to have to rule that I think for what these guys are going to be expected to do, the level of training that is here and the risk versus reward, I don't think it's a bad thing. It's unfortunate because people forget the military is inherently dangerous. Even someone's basic day-to-day job that they may not think is dangerous could be dangerous, right? Just transporting troops around or Marines. We saw only a month ago, there was a 7-ton truck flipped over and took the lives of 2 Marines. And that was just them driving from one place to the next on a paved road. So, I'm not trying to say like everything we do is dangerous. It doesn't have to be high speed like a Navy SEAL training. There are things military members do that are dangerous that we probably don't think about because we become a little bit immune, or I would even say complacent. So some of you guys are active duty or veterans. What are some things that you've seen that you would say were dangerous that you maybe didn't think about, or an experience you had? Or what do you think about this Navy SEAL situation? Do you think that there should be more parameters on left and right lateral limits to make sure we don't have issues like this? Let me know down in the comments below. As always, if you guys have questions about this or anything else, hit me on Instagram, Snapchat, Twitter, or TikTok. I almost messed that up. I love you guys. I'll see you next time.